A catastrophic localized microburst and severe monsoon storm system struck the Lat Krabang district of eastern Bangkok on the evening of Friday, June 26, 2026. The extreme weather event unleashed hurricane-force winds, blinding torrential rainfall, and continuous cloud-to-ground lightning strikes that completely devastated primary public infrastructure, crippled the regional electricity grid, and caused massive private property destruction along major transportation arteries. The disaster, which caught thousands of commuters completely exposed during the peak Friday evening rush hour, triggered a massive domino-effect collapse of heavy concrete utility infrastructure along a 2-kilometer stretch of Chalong Krung Road. The falling debris trapped numerous motorists inside crushed vehicles, prompting a multi-agency emergency rescue operation involving hundreds of first responders, medical personnel, and state utility engineers. According to the latest official briefings issued by the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, BMA, and the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, DPM, on Saturday, June 27, 2026, no fatalities have been reported within the impact zones. However, emergency medical services have confirmed that at least 12 individuals sustained injuries, with 3 victims currently hospitalized in serious condition due to crush injuries. Initial economic impact assessments conducted by municipal authorities, structural engineers, and insurance consortia estimate total damages to public utility assets, commercial properties, industrial supply chains, and private vehicles to comfortably exceed 80 million Thai baht. This establishes the June 26th tempest as one of the most destructive and costly localized meteorological events to impact the eastern gateway of the capital in modern history. According to the Thai Meteorological Department, TMD, the atmospheric anomaly that manifested over Lat Krabang was driven by intense, rapid atmospheric destabilization. A highly active southwest monsoon hovering over the Andaman Sea and the Gulf of Thailand acted as a continuous pump of high-velocity thermal moisture directly into central Thailand. A strong, localized, low-pressure cell positioned over neighboring Vietnam drew this volatile air mass inward, creating a severe convective updraft over the low-lying plains of eastern Bangkok. As the convective storm cells matured throughout the afternoon of June 26th, cloud tops reached extreme altitudes, holding immense volumes of cooled rain and dense air. Around 5 p.m., the structural equilibrium of the storm cell collapsed directly over the Lat Krabang district, resulting in a severe localized microburst. A microburst is an intense, localized column of sinking air, downdraft, that upon hitting the ground, bursts outward in all directions with destructive, straight-line winds that can easily mimic the damage profiles of a localized tornado. Doppler radar installations operated by the BMA recorded localized wind gusts exceeding 110 kilometers per hour, accompanied by an intense precipitation rate that dumped over 90 millimeters of rainfall within a condensed 60-minute window. The sheer kinetic energy of the downburst winds, combined with the softened ground from preceding seasonal rains, created the perfect conditions for widespread structural and infrastructural failure. The storm clouds blanketed the entirety of Bangkok. The physical destruction was overwhelmingly concentrated within specific logistical, commercial, and residential zones of the Lat Krabang district. The following sectors experienced the most severe impacts. The primary locus of devastation was centered entirely on Chalong Krung Road, specifically encompassing a 2-kilometer perimeter stretching from the entrance of Soi Chalong Krung 43 to Soi Chalong Krung 53, terminating just before the vehicle U-turn located beneath the Lam Ko Phai bridge. This specific segment of Chalong Krung Road serves as a major 6-lane thoroughfare connecting residential communities, commercial storefronts, and the vast industrial zones of eastern Bangkok. The microburst winds slammed laterally into this corridor. The structural integrity of the overhead electrical transmission network failed, A total of 89 high-voltage concrete utility poles were completely snapped at their bases or entirely uprooted from their subterranean foundations. The destruction of this primary utility line occurred in a rapid cascading chain reaction that spanned both sides of the dual highway. The fallen infrastructure comprised 32 heavy-duty 22-meter utility poles. These massive structures, which carry regional distribution lines, sheared under the lateral wind loads, bringing down heavy transformers and mid-tier wiring arrays directly onto civilian lanes. 57 massive 32-meter power transmission poles. These ultra-high voltage structures form the backbone of the district's primary power grid. Their collapse pulled down thick, multi-layered copper and aluminum transmission cables, draping active high-voltage lines across dozens of moving and stationary vehicles. The physical footprint of these 89 fallen poles completely obstructed all 6 lanes of traffic on Chalong Krung Road, rendering the highway utterly impassable and trapping hundreds of commuters in the immediate high-hazard perimeter, surrounded by live, sparking electrical wires and massive blocks of fractured concrete. Situated immediately adjacent to the primary structural collapse zone, the Lat Krabang industrial estate, one of the capital's largest and most vital manufacturing, electronics, and logistical hubs, faced extreme operational paralysis. The internal facilities of the estate did not experience widespread structural collapses. The external perimeters were plunged into immediate logistical chaos. Flying debris generated by the microburst winds, including shattered tree limbs, detached corrugated steel roofs from informal structures, and heavy commercial advertising signs, littered the main access gates and secondary supply roads. Large multi-axle shipping trucks, cargo containers, and industrial logistics vehicles bound for the estate or trying to depart towards Suvarnabhumi Airport were completely stranded on the surrounding road network, unable to bypass the downed power grid on Chalong Krung Road. The physical destruction of the Chalong Krung transmission lines caused an immediate, catastrophic industrial blackout across the estate. Dozens of large-scale manufacturing plants, precision electronics assembly lines, and cold storage food warehouses lost primary grid power instantly. Although many facilities successfully migrated their essential operations to automated emergency diesel generators, the long-term instability forced multiple factories to halt assembly lines entirely through Friday night to prevent machinery damage and ensure worker safety, resulting in millions of baht in lost operational productivity. Branching off Chalong Krung Road, dozens of densely populated residential alleys, soas, and linear rows of commercial shophouses suffered secondary damage from both the wind and subsequent urban flash flooding. As the power grid collapsed, the automated local drainage pumps and municipal water evacuation stations operating throughout the district lost their primary electrical supply. The pumps knocked offline. The intense 90 millimeters per hour downpour rapidly overwhelmed the localized drainage canals, clongs. Within less than 45 minutes, floodwaters breached the curbs, inundating low-lying residential streets under 30 to 50 centimeters of murky stormwater. Dozens of small businesses, neighborhood convenience stores, and ground-floor residential townhomes were flooded. Residents were forced to frantically move valuable electronics, appliances, and personal belongings to second-story levels in complete darkness. Localized wind damage peeled roofs off residential garages, shattered glass storefronts, and brought down dozens of matured trees, which blocked narrow alleyways and complicated local emergency evacuation efforts. The combined structural, financial, and human toll compiled by the BMA, the Erawan Emergency Medical Center, and the Royal Thai Police highlights the sheer intensity of the storm's impact on the Lat Krabang community. Despite the terrifying scale of the infrastructure collapse, no lives were lost. Emergency officials attribute this miracle to the heavy, reinforced frames of modern vehicles, which absorbed the initial impact of the falling poles, preventing passenger compartments from being completely flattened. A total of 12 citizens required emergency medical intervention. Of these, 9 individuals suffered minor to moderate injuries, including lacerations from flying glass, contusions from falling debris, and mild shock. They were treated on-site or at local clinics and have since been discharged. However, 3 individuals sustained severe critical injuries. These 3 victims were inside vehicles that bore the direct, full-weight impact of the 32-meter concrete transmission poles. They suffered complex fractures and internal trauma, requiring extraction via hydraulic rescue tools before being rushed to nearby hospitals, where they remain in stable but serious condition under intensive medical care. More than 30 civilian passenger cars, pickup trucks, and commercial transport vans were caught directly under the collapsing utility lines. Photos and video footage from the scene revealed sedans crushed to less than half their original height, windshields completely pulverized, and vehicle bodies wrapped in thick webs of heavy, high-voltage cables. The physical loss of 89 high-voltage concrete poles along Chalong Krung Road constitutes a major blow to the eastern Bangkok power distribution network. The cost of replacing these poles, along with their associated multi-phase transformers, heavy-duty switching gear, and kilometers of specialized insulated cabling, forms the largest share of the state's direct financial damage. The conservative estimate accounts for the direct replacement costs of state electrical infrastructure, municipal road repairs, private vehicle insurance payouts, commercial inventory losses within flooded shophouses, and immediate business interruption losses suffered by manufacturing entities within the industrial estate perimeter. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration declared the Chalong Krung Road corridor a localized disaster zone, prompting a swift, massive mobilization of state resources. The Metropolitan Electricity Authority, MEA, took immediate operational command of the structural recovery site, deploying an emergency task force consisting of more than 200 elite high-voltage technicians, electrical engineers, and specialized disaster recovery laborers. The MEA contingent was supported by a massive fleet of heavy machinery, including 15 heavy-duty mobile cranes, multiple earth movers, flatbed transport trucks, and high-capacity mobile illumination towers that allowed recovery teams to work continuously through the pitch-black night. Technical crews have been working simultaneously to reroute power through alternative secondary substations, effectively restoring primary electrical power to roughly 80% of the affected residential and commercial sectors within the district. Full structural restoration of the 89 poles and the complete reopening of all traffic lanes on Chalong Krung Road are projected to be finalized within the next 24 to 48 hours. M.L. Chulachak Chakrabandhu, the Deputy Governor of the Metropolitan Electricity Authority, MEA, issued an official, binding public declaration during a press briefing held at the Disaster Command Site on Saturday. Addressing the media and affected citizens, the Deputy Governor explicitly stated that the MEA would assume full legal, administrative, and financial accountability for the disaster.
มา30 ปีแล้วเคยเจอเสาไฟฟ้าล้มหมดเลยทั้งแถบเลยไฟดับทั้งเส้นเลยไปไม่ได้เลยเสาไฟฟ้าล้มหมดเลยครับถนนลาดกระบัง